Hello, and welcome to another episode of Poetry FM 101. This is my favorite corner in the world, and now it can be yours too. Alright, so the rhyme for today, the rhyme for today is not black and white, it's actually shades of grey and white. But before we jump into the rhyme for today, I want to tell you about the results of the poll that has been running on the previous episode. And almost 67% of you preferred cappuccino as your choice of coffee over the other options. Me, I'm more of a espresso or a black pour-over coffee kind of a person. And I'm also secretly glad that none of you chose the flavored coffee option. Sanity prevails. And I suppose that's a good thing. So now, on to today's rhyme. So I've titled it Shades of Grey and White.
A chill spring's wind and pink blooms filled that morning, and outside the birds chirped as people did their jogging. Wooden chairs lined outside, small coffee tables sat between the two, banana muffins invited the eye, the air crisp with the morning brew. I sat outside, soaking the view, as out came my breakfast order. Sir, here's your coffee and eggs with mushrooms on the border. A sip of the foam, a bite of the egg, and a sigh of content. That's when she walked by, infusing the air with her scent. A floral mix and spices within, a charming eau de cologne. The smell she had left rhymed with my coffee. I was mind blown. Sausage and eggs, a latte to the side, she said as she walked with intent to the counter and placed her order. Here's $5 and the cent. She walked back outside, sat down on a chair, and crossed her legs with such grace. I gazed at her stride and marveled her sway, but I was struck by her face. She gazed like a knife, her eyes pierced the soul as she sat back on her chair. Her mascara applied to view, and like the Nile were the strands of her hair. I took out my pen and took out a sheet to capture this thing of beauty, and used pencil on sheet to draw her face so I could ask her out to tea. It took me a while, the coffee I put aside as I got to work on my art. The most difficult task was to capture her smile, the curves as her lips did part. But by the hour it had been done. The lady was etched in shades of grey and white. Now came the toughest part. Should I or should I not? That was the internal fight. It would be a shame to let go of such a blissful morning as this. So I walked up to her and spoke with a smile. Hello there, miss. She gazed up at me, and I saw the depth that those eyes did hold. Up close I knew my sketch was no match. Her beauty was 10,000-fold. An empty hive on a spring morning would be such a bloody shame. So I made this for you before I came and said hi to the pretty dame. She shifted her eyes to look at my sketch, and I saw them widen in awe. Did you do this over your coffee? This is beautiful what you did draw. I don't know what to say. Thank you. You made my morning shine. I'm done with my coffee. I better leave. And she took that sketch of mine. And before I could ask if she'd like to go out a second time to dine, she was gone. And as I looked, walked over the pedestrian crossing line.
Well, thank you for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed this rhyme. Now, before we conclude, I'd like to ask you a question. and particularly to all the lovely women who are listening to this. Do you find it cute or romantic when a guy writes poetry for you? Or do you find it weird? Let me know your answers by casting your vote in the poll that's running on this episode. And I'm really curious to know. And, not wanting to leave the others out, I have one last question for everyone. Have you ever written a poem for someone? Whatever the occasion, right? How did you share it with your muse? Did you end up sharing it with the person that you wrote it for? And how did they react? Do let me know, and I will share some of the interesting answers that come up in the next episode. So if you want to share your story, well, this is your chance. Alright then, I'm afraid this is where I'll have to leave you for today. And if you're enjoying these poems and these rhymes, don't forget to subscribe and follow my podcast, Poetry FM 101. And I will see you again next week, same time, same place, with a different story, a different rhyme. Until then, take care.